Hello everyone, LadyLazyPup here, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a very fun speed build for you guys to start off the spooky season. I recreated the Sanderson Sisters Cottage from Hocus Pocus. To start off, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put this build because it is kind of like pushed back into a more foresty, kind of swampy looking area. I did figure that Glimmerbrook in The Sims 4 was probably one of the best places to put it because that is the magical area. And I decided on the lot that is closest to the portal to the magic world. I figured since the sister's house does have this wheel on it for like water for the river, it is kind of like the closest area to the river. And then we kind of created one and are just pretending that it's connected to the larger one that's behind the home. I also felt like this area was kind of surrounded by enough trees and rocks and mountains to make it feel a little bit more secluded. That's also why I put the big tree out front, just so it's a little bit more disconnected. I know that a lot of the Glimmerbrook stuff has like that fancy walkway and like path to the home, but we're going to ignore that. We're going to make it look a little bit scarier and spookier and, you know, more witch-like. I definitely had tons and tons of reference pictures for this. I had even like the Lego pictures of like the Lego house that they made for this movie. I had pictures from the movie. I had pictures of potential like a house that apparently is doing like you can stay at it and it's the Sanderson sisters house, quote unquote. So I was trying to make sure that I could get the vibes, get the right shape, get all of that feeling into this home that we're creating. And I really liked the shape because the top floor kind of hangs off two of the sides, which to me makes it a little bit more fantasy-like. And all of this stuff from Get Together worked so perfectly because this is a Salem, Massachusetts home. That is where the Sanderson sisters are. That's like where their story was. So it has that like English vibe, has all of those like pieces and all that wood and everything. I just really like this look. A lot of cottagey things. So cottage living definitely was a big help in this one, especially for that mill wheel and everything too. I actually went with the lighter colored one that had more mossy colors on it because I felt like that fit with how everything else goes together in this house. I still wanted it to be kind of grungy, kind of dirty, kind of dusty, and a lot of cobwebs and everything everywhere. So I figured the moldy stuff would also bring that element into the house. Luckily, one of the pictures I was looking at was like that perfect like down spot where you could see all the different windows on the front, that it has like the fireplace stack out the top of the roof with like all the purple smoke. I can't unfortunately put purple smoke, but we will have a fireplace so that this does actually blow smoke when that fireplace is on. But I tried to get all of the windows into the right place, and then I wanted to have that iconic window where Winifred opens the windows and yells for her book. So I have that on the side currently. I do end up moving that because it's hard to tell where in the house she ends up doing that moment. But I had to have it. I had to have it. So I kept the window and then figured out where it gets put later. I did have to construct like a 3x2 window in that front. I think that actually turned out really perfect because I didn't have a wide enough window that worked in that space. Another pack that came in really handy, the horse ranch pack, because it has so much good material that has a bit more like that scuffed look, that like dirty look. The barrels were perfect. All of those types of things really added to the atmosphere of the house. Oh, I also have like the little pieces that are holding up the sides of the house. I love it. I love how it kind of just overlaps with the bottom, and it's not perfect. The top floor is definitely larger than the bottom floor. However, it is pretty much just a loft. You'll see that in a minute. I did find like a nice path that goes to the front, and later on we do fill this yard with weeds and grasses and even little mushrooms and everything. It's really great. So now moving on inside the house, I wanted to start off with where do the stairs end up going, and there are like a rotated stair that goes to the top loft. And then I needed to cut out this loft area as well so we could have that open. This is where I figured there are beds for the girls. So I figured Winifred, being the eldest and the way she is, she's going to have the biggest bed in the corner. And then I decided that having a couple of witchy bunk beds for the other two sisters, for Sarah and Mary, we'd put them in the bunk beds on the other side. But I definitely wanted this house to actually be playable for you guys, or even for myself. And so to make that fully playable, I am going to make sure all of the elements of a house are put in here. Even if it's something that we didn't really get to see in the movie or don't really have screenshots of. I'm going to figure that out along the way. So now, okay, yeah, I know. And you guys might complain about this. The fireplace is on like the opposite side of the house, but that's like the perfect place for it. That's literally in pictures. That's like the placement of the fireplace. Look, it is a magical home. It is a magical home, and there's a giant pipe that runs to the opposite side of the house for the smoke to come out. It's totally fine. I think it works. It's okay. So now you can see the interior is just completely that like dark wood paneling. I love how it looks. It's nice and dark and like kind of a little bit creepy. I was trying to find like that iconic chair that the little girl sits in at the beginning, and I was gonna just go with like the wooden chair, but I really liked this red one with the cloth over it. Also, when I was looking at this, mind you, I was on stream. When I was looking at that chair, it has such a pretty quilt that goes over it that has like even like the knitted texture to it. I really loved that. I was like, I didn't even know that had that one, but it was really nice. I'm not gonna lie. But this house did not want it to look nice. I wanted it to look scary. I wanted it to look more witch-like. I wanted it to look old and kind of grungy. So we can't go with the nice stuff. We got to go with like, you know, patchwork stuff from Werewolf Pack and all of that. But, you know, of course, Winifred gets the really fancy ass bed from the Magic Pack. So, I mean, like, I still think that's actually kind of funny. I do love that she has this giant bed up there and they have just the patchwork ones on the other side. Then around this corner, right at the front, so where the cauldron is, this is where I put the kitchen. And I did try to make it look more like an older kitchen, you know, icebox with the stove that's like with the wood and everything. There is no sink on the inside. I was like, well, maybe there wouldn't be plumbing. Let's try to make this somewhat accurate. Maybe it has been slightly renovated over the years, you know, something like that is kind of what I was going for. But you know, look, I'm not going to make it completely accurate for like the 1600s. That's not going to happen. All the little details here with the potions and like the boxes were nice and perfect. The rug over here, I mean, it's not technically a rug, it's like stone, but you know, it has that pentagram on it. It's perfect. It's perfect for this. So I did give them 2 other chairs because I figured they'd each have their own chair. There's 3 of them. It's kind of perfect. The famous book now getting put next to the cauldron. And I liked having this spot over here, this with this table. 1, it's kind of like, here's your dining table. 2, that's where I end up putting the black flame candle. And I'm really happy with how that looks. So stay tuned for what I end up doing there. So back upstairs, we end up putting some columns in, and like with the spandrels and everything to make it feel a little bit more like it's put together that way. And to block off the sections to give the girls some privacy, we do end up putting in some curtains on either side so that they can, it looks like something they would pull back or like put down so that they'd have their own little private areas to themselves. But I really love how all of this wood kind of looks a lot rougher. It's so perfect for this. And don't you worry, we will bring the girls in to playtest this to make sure everything is actually functional and you can get around this bed. Because I was very concerned that there's not enough space. But look, the Sims are a little smarter than you probably think they are. Because they don't tend to do a lot of smart things, but they are smarter than you expect. I will say that. They are smarter than you expect. And there is just like just enough space for them to move around up in this loft area. Oh, and this is where I was just like getting really excited because I was like, oh, they need like something for their clothing. Look at this wardrobe. It's so perfect. It fits. It's nice and small. It goes right in that corner. It has a mirror and everything. And then I was like, but there's 3 of them. We probably need a second one. So I was debating on a full nightstand, but then I was like, maybe just like a tall wardrobe on this side just to keep some of their outfits over here would be good. And yes, we can still move around and it's okay. It's kind of squishy, but it still works. I did take some liberties and play with the roof a little bit. So I guess I can't say it's like a perfect rendition, but I love how just that little bit of a curve to the rooftop adds so much more whimsical elements to the build. I do also love that the ceilings are painted in this. So they look like the paneling. Everything is completely wooden in this house. It's great. It's so good. This is where I was picking out the curtains, but the ones from Werewolf, perfect. The way that they're shaped and how it just looks like they did pin it to the wood, it's just like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly how I wanted it to look. And I did end up going, yeah, no, that's too many. So I only have 1 on either side, but I think that's enough to at least give it the idea of, yes, we wanted some privacy, so we gave ourselves one. Let me know below if you guys actually have watched Hocus Pocus or if it's like way too corny for you. I mean, look, I know it's an incredibly corny show. It's just that nostalgia for me, but I still really like it. I think it's really cute and it's definitely rewatchable. But let me know, have you guys seen it? Do you like it? Is it like a rewatch every year for you? Is it like a, God, no, I will never watch that movie? I'd like to hear about it. Let's discuss. I definitely didn't want to have real electricity in the house, so a lot of candles have gone in to make this look way older. And again, kind of a magic-y thing, you know. I figured they wouldn't be going around actually lighting each one of these with a match or something. It is magic. They can just, you know, wave of the finger and light all of these, and it's perfect. But some of these actually looked really good, and I was trying to see, can I actually turn a flame black? Not particularly. You can change the coloring of the light to be black, which is what I ended up doing for the black flame candle. But look, it's The Sims. There's some limitations. Otherwise, it would be spot on. So I had even some like lanterns that I figured they'd kind of walk around the house with. And then, of course, like a pile of like ritual candles that they would use for any of their magic and spells and stuff. I was trying to come up with like fun different colors even too that they would use. And I did figure for the black flame candle, it did need to have like a place to sit and kind of like a pedestal that it sits on because it's very special. It deserves kind of a place of more of like a steam. So I put it on a higher table next to the other. And I end up doing something a little bit more fun with it. I did lose my ladder over here. I don't know why. It said something about it being because of the roof. Oh, it was driving me crazy that I couldn't put it back in there. So I had to end up putting it on a different side. And I was really hoping it wasn't going to be like completely blocking anything. Because I had it in like a really good spot, but then I had to move it. But I think this worked out okay as well. Those orbs are actually for the familiars in the game, but I thought that was kind of perfect. It was kind of like a crystal ball for them to look at. I know that there is one. I think I do end up putting that in somewhere as well, but I thought this one looked a little bit older, a little bit more magical than the one from Paranormal, which I feel like was a little bit more pristine. And yes, that is a mop that I added in. I was trying to pick out brooms and everything. I thought that would be really fun to have their brooms displayed in the living area and then having like either extras or something over on the other side. Yeah, that's where I put the crystal in with the hand and everything. Oh, and this is where I decide. Okay, so I really wanted to have like a really fun display and I loved this hand, this like clay hand. So I was like, what if I had the clay hand hold the black flame candle? Yeah, I love that. I think it's perfect. I know it's not like, you know, accurate to the movie, but come on. That's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. And don't laugh too hard at this. I don't have Bust the Dust, so I didn't have a vacuum. So instead of putting the vacuum in, we put in a little Roomba. So that's just a little ode to, you know, Mary riding a broom. And that just kind of hangs out in the corner. I liked that, just a little Easter egg in there for you guys. I did also put a wand in here. I thought that one was really pretty, kind of magical, kind of like something that they took from the forest. And then we put a bunch of potions around, which I think was really fun. So there's a lot of different potions everywhere. And the fun thing with the potions is that when they sit there, they like poof and like little smoke clouds and like little shapes and stuff come into the air. So it feels really magical when we go into live mode. And I will do that with you guys so you can see all of the stuff in motion, because it's pretty fun. But I put potions like literally everywhere. So the ones that are by the cauldron are like the ones for like eternal youth and like living forever and all of that. And I thought that was so perfect because that's exactly what they were going for. That's what they wanted to do. That's why they're like, sucking the lives out of children. It's great. It's great. It all makes sense. Look, if you haven't seen the movie and I'm talking about sucking the lives out of children, it's not me. It's the witches. They're evil. They're not good witches by any means. They're bad. I also wanted to put like more plants and things in here. Oh, the silly candies. Okay, I did say, because they are going after children and like the youth, I was like, they have to have candies, It's another way to bring in the kids. Can't just sing every time. Sometimes you have to come up with other means. But we have more plants everywhere. I put some pumpkins out front because it is Halloween, So they of course would have pumpkins. It is the fall. And I was figuring a lot of different plants for different spells and everything that they use there too. So, you gotta have some greenery. You gotta have some stuff being planted and used by the witches. And there's like just some cute stuff that I think worked really well with everything here too. Oh, I do like that I have the dried plants over the window. I thought that was a really nice spot for it. Those I love using like in everything. I just think they're really pretty. And then I found that. Oh my god, the vines. So pretty to put like on the side of the house, and like having some like of the dead rose bushes. This is where I just went kind of nuts and was getting stuff out of debug and was finding like different plants and things that would work perfect in the yard. Those mushrooms from Cottage Living are so cute, and I thought were definitely a perfect little touch as well. So I was just like, let's find anything and everything that's going to work for us here. Get some rocks everywhere. If you don't know me, rocks make everything better. They literally do though. If you think something looks off, something looks weird, what could you put there? Probably a rock, probably some like boulder and rock that makes it look a little nicer. This out back, that's not a shed. That is my outhouse. I wanted to make sure, like I said earlier, I wanted to make sure that this was a fully functional home. So I put an outhouse out back with a toilet and a sink. And then I did put a tub on the back of the house. So that's like outside. But I was like, I don't know, it's something about like being a witch in the middle of the woods. Like, yeah, you're going to probably bathe under like the moonlight. So I figured having the like wooden tub outside in the backyard was perfect. So we ended up putting a tub out back. But then we have like a nice little path that goes all the way to the little outhouse as well. Oh, see all these little touches? We put little mouse holes in. And then this is when I put all the spider webs everywhere. These cobwebs are great. In game, just in case I have any arachnophobes listening or watching, if you've never used these are from Spooky Stuff or Spooky Day or whatever the heck that one is. It's the Halloween pack. They do end up having spiders on them every once in a while. So just so you're aware, if you ever use them and play the game and not just build with them, sometimes spiders do spawn on those and they kind of like crawl around. Fair warning, I figured I'd let you guys know. I think it's a really fun thing. I think it's really cool that happens. So I was like, yes, I want all the spiders and all the cobwebs in this house. But just in case you didn't know, now you do. I was debating on putting tombstones on back. That was one thing. When I like hovered over that, I was like, do I put tombstones? And then I was like, well, they do kill a lot of kids. They do kill a lot of people, right? But either those people are going to end up in the graveyard, right? Or they're just going to bury them. They're not going to probably mark the gravesite. I highly doubt that these sisters are just like, yeah, let me make sure to mark it and put all the years on. No, of course not. They just have them like buried out in the back. I can never tell if I go way too dark with this, like the thought process on these things, but I feel like evil, scary witches that kill children and suck their life for their own youth. I think it makes sense. I think I can go that dark. I think it's welcome, right? So I kind of layered all of these grasses together to make it look a lot more like overgrown and kind of weedy. I wanted to make sure that there was like that like dead colored grass, that yellowy color that makes it feel like crunchy and scratchy. We have like those mushrooms intermixed just to make it look a little bit more maybe a waterlogged kind of, like that's how mushrooms grow, is like when there's a lot of water everywhere and then maybe it's like really moist and humid. I don't know, these are all the things that I kind of just were picturing as we were going through and putting everything. I also liked that we changed the water to make it look a little bit darker, and I think this one was even called like pond scum. So yes, pond scum. There we go. Perfect. Dirty, scummy water. I like it. I can just imagine all of like the mosquitoes and bugs that would probably also infest this place. Maybe that's something I should add. I don't think I added like any of like the alligators or like the bugs or anything to the pond. We could add like some mosquitoes, and maybe the lightning bugs would be perfect too. So before I upload this, I will make sure to add some bugs to our little scummy pond river thing that we have on this lot. I think that will be fantastic. I also put barrels everywhere. I kind of figured that's where they get their water. That's how they use their water. They have barrels of water that they collect and use for all of those areas. And then of course, last but not least, we added in some extra trees just to make that forestiness come into the lot as well and make it nice and full. And I like it. I think that worked out really well. I guess that's not technically the last thing I did. The last thing I did was put, more vines on the house. But, I like that the yard feels so super full and like full of life, and it's so compact. It looks great. I feel like it kind of just fits into the world now even more. And then like all of the vines, I like used mostly dead vines because I thought that was like a really nice touch that, yeah, the things that are growing on this house might not actually live very well considering, evil witches lived here. So I thought it would be fun for us to actually playtest this together, and I thought it was great to grab the Sanderson sisters off of the gallery. Thank you, Enter the Jedi 424. The beautiful Hocus Pocus characters here, including little Thackeray Binks. I loved that it had Thackeray, so I had to keep it. So let's grab them and head on in to the cottage. Okay, welcome, girls, to your beautiful cottage. Let's take a look. Yep, here we are. I love it, and look at like even the wheel turns and everything. This is very, very perfect. So a few things I need to test. I want to test that everybody can get into the upstairs. So I'm going to have Sarah actually light the fire, and then Winifred and Mary are going to go up and go to bed just so I can see if they can reach them easily. See what I mean? Look at how cute the potions look. So Mary is actually using the ladder to get up. Good, good. So far, they are able to move around pretty easily. Go on, Winifred. I need you to go to bed. Thank you. So here's Sarah over here, actually using this stuff, which is great. Cackling evilly, as you do. What else do we want to test to make sure? I guess we should probably test to make sure they can use the cauldron as well as cook. No, something is actually blocking you. Let's see. It's this. This one was being weird. You can see that it's a different color. I don't know why it's so odd. What if I just kind of... I think that'll work well. And while I'm here, I might as well add those couple things we were saying. Maybe some dragonflies. I'm figuring definitely mosquitoes and lightning bugs would be so pretty. Yes. Oh, it like brings it alive. Look at that. That's so perfect. Okay. Back to Winifred though. Now that I've fixed that, can you get up here? Let's see. Which way is she gonna go? Oh, she's going up the ladder. Okay, that's fine. I really did want to test this end over here too, but that's fine. You can go up that way. Oh, good. She's actually gonna go all the way around. Yes! Look at that. Look at her go. Oh, that's so perfect. Yes. We're making some mac and cheese, as you do, because this is The Sims. Thackeray is up on the counter. Oh, this is so perfect. Yeah. Yep, I think we're in the clear here. Everything looks great. So we can take a quick tour, but look at how fantastic. So this is the Sanderson Sisters Cottage from Hocus Pocus. And I'm very pleased with how it came out. Heading into the front. Oh, we have Sarah cooking at the cauldron. This downstairs area, little kitchen spot. Little living area over here. Every place that they can think of to brew. You go up the stairs or the ladder into the loft area, and we have where the sisters sleep. In their own places and spots. Lots of detailing with the cobwebs and everything. If we actually go all the way outside, you can see the little details out here with the little path that goes to a outhouse. There's the tub in the back. And then our lovely little pond that we added those little details to make it feel a little more alive. I'm very pleased. I hope you guys loved this build as much as I did. Definitely can enjoy it yourselves. I really want to go up to that house. I think that's a really bad plan, but you know what? You do you. You do you. It's definitely going to be on the gallery, so you guys can enjoy it as much as you'd like. If you do anything different with it, if you do play with it, tag me. Let me know. I would love to hear about it. Put any of your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time. And remember, it's just a bunch of hocus pocus. Bye, everyone.